Did you know that Mary was not actually Jesus' biological mother? So who is Jesus' real mother? And who is his father? Join me as we look at 5 facts about Jesus' mother and his father. Number 1, Mary wasn't Jesus' biological mother. Some people think that Mary was Jesus' biological mother because she's called mother in the Bible. But if you read the Bible carefully, you'll notice that nowhere in the Bible does it say that Mary was Jesus' biological mother. In fact, the only place in the New Testament where it says that Mary was Jesus' mother is when Jesus was speaking to a group of Pharisees. The Pharisees had just accused Jesus of being a glutton and a drunkard, and they were saying that he had a demon inside of him. Jesus says to them, "My mother and my brothers are all here outside. If anyone is related to me, let them do the same things that I do." The Pharisees then went out to everyone outside and started calling Mary and Jesus brothers. Jesus told them, "Here are my mother and my brothers. They have come to see me. Whoever does the will of God is my brother and sister and mother." This shows us that the relationship between Jesus and Mary was more than likely an adoptive relationship, rather than a biological relationship. Number 2, Mary gave birth to Jesus in a cave. It is well known that Jesus was born in a manger, but many people don't know that the manger was in a cave. The reason why Jesus was born in a cave is because there was no room for them in the inn. Most people think that an inn is a building with lots of rooms, so there must have been some room somewhere for Mary to stay. But the word inn in the Bible actually means a caravanserai, which is a building where travelers would stop along their journey, and they would park their animals in the courtyard or in a cave nearby. Since Jesus was born in Bethlehem, which was along the main road from Jerusalem to the Dead Sea, it makes sense that Joseph and Mary would travel to Bethlehem and stay in a caravanserai. And since the courtyard was probably full, they would have to go and find a cave nearby to stay in. Number 3, Mary and Joseph had other children after Jesus. Many Christians believe that Mary and Joseph did not have any other children after Jesus. They base this belief on a passage in Matthew's Gospel that reads, "When Jesus was 12 years old while they were on their way back home to Nazareth, he stayed behind in Jerusalem without his parents." And they didn't realize it until they had gone a day's journey, when they finally found him in the temple courts. Many Christians use this passage to say that Mary and Joseph didn't have any other children, because it says that he was staying in Jerusalem without his mother and father. However, this is not what the passage actually says. The passage says that Jesus was staying in Jerusalem without his mother and father, not that he was staying without his siblings. This means that Jesus most likely had other siblings, both brothers and sisters, even though the Bible never tells us how many. This is why Jesus could say in Matthew's Gospel, when Jesus came into his own town, he healed the sick at the synagogue and said, "I am not sent except to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." Jesus was saying that his ministry was only to the people of Israel, and he didn't go anywhere else. He also says in another passage, "Whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother." This shows us that Jesus most likely had siblings. Number 4, Mary and Joseph adopted Jesus. Even though Mary most likely wasn't Jesus' biological mother, this doesn't mean that she didn't love Jesus any less. In fact, Mary loved Jesus more than any biological mother could ever love her child. This is because Mary knew that Jesus was the Son of God. And even though she may have been Jesus' adoptive mother, she was still the first of all the people to accept Jesus as the Messiah. Mary and Joseph adopted Jesus because an angel came to Joseph in a dream and told him to take Mary as his wife, even though she was still a virgin. When Joseph woke up, he did as the angel commanded and took Mary as his wife. This shows us that even though Mary and Joseph weren't Jesus' biological parents, they still loved Jesus more than their own lives. Number 5, Mary kept all the things related to Jesus' birth. After Jesus was born, Mary put him in a manger because there was no room for them in an inn. But later on, Joseph and Mary took Jesus home and laid him in a bed. While all of this was happening, there was a lot of commotion going on outside. There were angels singing praises to God, and there were shepherds who came to worship baby Jesus. So imagine all of the sounds and smells going on in that room while Jesus was being laid in a bed. Mary was probably overwhelmed with emotion, knowing that she had just given birth to the Son of God. To help her remember this moment, she kept all the things that pertained to Jesus' birth. This included the swaddling clothes that he was wrapped in, the manger that he was laid in, and even the star that appeared over the stable. All of these things became very precious to Mary, and she kept them in a special place until she died. We can learn from Mary by always remembering the special moments that God allows us to experience in our lives. Life can get busy, and sometimes we forget the amazing things that God has done for us. But we should always make time to remember these moments, because they remind us of how good God is. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an upload. And if you have a comment, feel free to drop it below. Thanks for watching.